The LPGA Tour just made one of the most embarrassing mistakes in modern golf history. Western analysts, golf media, and establishment critics spent years dismissing Miyu Yamashita's dominance in Japan as minor league competition. Then, she showed up in 2025, won a major championship, banked over $3.3 million, and climbed to world number 6 as a rookie. What they called irrelevant turned out to be world-class preparation, and the receipts prove they should have been paying attention all along. December 2024, Mobile, Alabama. The LPGA Final Qualifying Tournament. This is Q School, golf's ultimate pressure cooker where hundreds of players fight for limited tour cards. Dreams get made or absolutely shattered over 90 holes of nerve-shredding golf. Miyu Yamashita didn't just earn her card, she destroyed the entire field. Finished first, medalist honors, 27 under par. It wasn't even close. She didn't sneak through on the number. She dominated from the first tee shot to the final putt, announcing that her arrival on the LPGA Tour wouldn't be quiet. But here's what happened next that made this whole story so embarrassing. Golf analysts shrugged. The takes rolled in predictably. She's good in Japan, they said. Let's see how she handles LPGA pressure. That condescension, that dismissiveness, that arrogance about Asian tours being somehow lesser competition, it all fueled what was about to happen. The 2025 season started well for Yamashita. She made cuts consistently, posted top 10s, showed she belonged. But winning? That seemed like a work in progress to the experts. Maybe next year. Maybe she needed time to adjust to the big stage. Then came August. Royal Porthcawl, Wales. The AIG Women's Open. One of golf's 5 major championships. The biggest stages in the sport. The brightest lights. The most intense pressure that exists in women's golf. And Miyu Yamashita was about to deliver one of the most impressive major championship performances of the entire year. Friday morning, round 2. Yamashita fired an absolutely blistering 7 under 65 that catapulted her straight to the top of the leaderboard. The lead she grabbed that day, she never gave it back. For 3.5 rounds, she controlled that championship with ice-cold precision. Of course, drama came, because it always does, in majors. England's Charlie Hull, playing in front of a roaring home crowd that desperately wanted a British champion, mounted a furious Sunday charge. She closed the gap, got within striking distance. The tension became suffocating. But here's where Yamashita's experience dominating in Japan under enormous pressure paid massive dividend. Hull found a fairway bunker on the 16th hole, bogey. Then another bogey on 17. The challenge evaporated just as quickly as it had materialized. Yamashita stayed composed throughout the chaos. When she made a crucial par save on the 14th hole, it showed championship mentality. No panic, no collapse, just steady, relentless excellence. Walking up the 18th fairway, Yamashita knew a bogey would still win the championship. She found the rough off the tee, but a smart layup and a safe chip to the green eliminated all drama. 2 putts later, she was a major champion. Final score, 11 under par, 2 strokes clear of Hull and Japan's Hinako Shibuno. At 24 years old, in her first full LPGA season, Miyu Yamashita had won the AIG Women's Open. The post-round interview was pure emotion. She spoke through an interpreter, tears forming as reality sank in. She became the 3rd Japanese woman to win the Women's Open, joining an elite club that includes golf royalty. Her first major championship, her first LPGA victory, her first win outside Japan. All in one magnificent Sunday at Royal Porthcawl. The golf world's reaction? Shock, respect. And suddenly, everyone wanted to know who this 4'11" powerhouse was and how they'd missed her dominance for so long. Prize money, $1.15 million. Her world ranking skyrocketed into the top 10. But more importantly, Yamashita had proven she belonged on golf's biggest stages. The "let's see how she handles LPGA pressure" crowd went completely silent. But here's what nobody expected. That should have been enough for one rookie season. A major championship means career made. Legacy secured. Most players would coast through the rest of the year, enjoying their achievement, soaking in the validation. Not Miyu Yamashita. She was just getting started. November 2024, the Maybank Championship in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Final round Sunday, Yamashita started the day 8 strokes behind the leader, 8 shots back with 18 holes to play. In professional golf, that deficit is considered insurmountable. Players don't come back from 8 down in final rounds. The math doesn't work. Too many things have to go right while everything goes wrong for the leaders. Yamashita apparently didn't get the memo about what's impossible. She went out and shot one of the most spectacular final rounds of the entire LPGA season. Birdie after birdie, aggressive lines, fearless putts. The kind of golf that happens when a player enters a zone where doubt doesn't exist. Meanwhile, the leaders stumbled, pressure mounted, mistakes compounded. And suddenly, impossibly, Yamashita found herself in a playoff, standing over a 20-foot birdie putt. Make it, win the tournament, miss it, who knows what happens. She drained it, center cut, like it was a 3-footer. The comeback was complete. 8 strokes down, playoff victory, absolute pandemonium. That comeback tied for the second largest final round deficit overcome since 1980 on the LPGA Tour. It's a statistical rarity that happens maybe once every few years, and this rookie, this player everyone said needed time to adjust, just pulled it off in her first season. 2 wins, including a major, before December. The golf establishment wasn't just wrong about Miyu Yamashita, they were catastrophically, embarrassingly, historically wrong. And the receipts were about to get even more damning. Let's talk about what Miyu Yamashita's 2025 season actually means in cold hard numbers, because this is where the story gets absolutely insane. $3,334,941 in official career earnings. That's not a typo. Over $3 million in her rookie season. She ranks 3rd on the 2025 LPGA money list. Only 2 players earned more, Minjee Lee at $3.8 million and Gino Thitikel at $3.5 million. Both are established superstars. Both have been on tour for years. Both are former major champions. Yamashita matched them in her first year. Think about that for a second. Would you have bet on the player everyone dismissed as good in Japan to finish 3rd in earnings against the world's best? Here's the crazy part. Nobody asked why she had 13 professional wins in Japan before turning 25 years old. That alone should have been a massive red flag that maybe, just maybe, this player was special. But the financial dominance goes deeper. The AIG Women's Open victory paid $1.15 million. The Maybank Championship added another $500,000 in CME Globe points value, which directly impacts season-ending bonuses and next year's tournament access. Every top 10 finish she posted added tens of thousands more. And now she's qualified for the CME Group Tour Championship in Naples, Florida, the season finale, the event that offers a $4 million first place prize, the largest in women's golf history. $4 million for one tournament. And Yamashita is absolutely in contention to win it based on her current form and world ranking position. The career implications are equally staggering. World number 6, as a rookie. That ranking puts her ahead of multiple Hall of Fame caliber players and former world number 1s who have been grinding on tour for a decade. She has a commanding lead in the Louise Suggs Rolex Rookie of the Year race. That award is essentially locked up unless something catastrophic happens. But here's where it gets really interesting. She's 2nd in the LPGA Player of the Year race. Only Gino Thitikel, the current world number 1, stands ahead of her in voting. One more win, especially the CME Championship. And Yamashita could realistically steal that award. Winning Player of the Year as a rookie would be one of the most dominant debut seasons in LPGA history. It's almost unprecedented. The names who've done it are Golf Immortals. The endorsement implications are massive too. Her equipment deal with Srixon got locked in before the season, but that contract is getting renegotiated as we speak based on her performance. Sponsors who passed on her in 2024 are now lining up with offers. Reports suggest 3 major brands approached her within 48 hours of winning the Women's Open. That TaylorMade Spider Tour X putter she uses? It's been absolutely lethal all season. That 20-foot playoff birdie at Maybank wasn't luck. Her putting statistics rank in the top tier across the entire tour. Equipment companies are studying her setup, trying to figure out how a 4'1" player generates this much consistency. But here's what makes all these numbers even more impressive when you zoom out. Yamashita stands just 4 feet 11 inches tall. She's one of the shortest players on the LPGA Tour. In a sport that's become increasingly obsessed with distance and power, where players are bombing 280-yard drives and reaching par 5s in 2, she gives up significant length off the tee compared to virtually every competitor. Yet she's outperformed nearly everyone. How? Precision, clutch putting, course management, mental toughness, forged in the fires of Japanese golf, where expectations are crushing and media scrutiny is relentless. She doesn't overpower golf courses. She dissects them with surgical precision. Her iron play has been dialed in all season, allowing her to hit greens and create birdie opportunities, even when she's hitting shorter clubs into par 4s than her playing partners. And that mental game? It's proven absolutely unshakable on the LPGA Tour's biggest stages. The personal stakes are equally compelling. Her younger sister, Ran, is also a professional golfer. The Yamashita family is building a legacy in Japanese golf. Miyu's success opens doors for her sister and countless other young Japanese players who now have proof that the path from JLPGA dominance to LPGA stardom is real. The pressure on Miyu is immense now. Every tournament comes with massive expectations. Can she win again? Will she handle being the favorite instead of the underdog? How will she respond when opponents start game planning specifically to beat her? These are legitimate questions. But if history tells us anything, betting against Miyu Yamashita is a losing proposition. She's active on social media, sharing food adventures with her sister. Whether it's celebrating top 5 finishes with ice cream, trying french fries in Singapore for the first time, or grabbing ramen bowls between rounds, she shows a relatable side that fans absolutely adore. She's not trying to be a corporate robot, she's just being herself. A 4-year-old who loves food, loves golf, and happens to be exceptionally good at both. The financial, career, and personal stakes have all aligned. Yamashita isn't just having a good rookie season, she's having a historically significant one that will be studied and referenced for decades. And the establishment that dismissed her? They're trying to figure out how they missed it so badly. Before Miyu Yamashita became an LPGA sensation, before she shocked the golf world with her major championship, before Western analysts had to eat crow about dismissing her, she was already a legend in Japan. But the golf world wasn't paying attention. And that was their first massive, unforgivable mistake. Born August 2nd, 2001, in Nayagawa, Osaka, Japan, Miyu picked up a golf club at 5 years old. What started as childhood curiosity transformed into total obsession. By the time she turned professional in 2020 at just 19 years old, she was already viewed as one of Japan's brightest young talent. Her rookie season on the LPGA of Japan Tour? Solid, but not spectacular. She made cuts, gained experience, learned the professional grind, the kind of steady progression you'd expect from a talented young player. Then 2021 arrived and everything changed. The KKT Cup Vantolin Ladies Open, Yamashita's first professional victory. She shot 14 under par and announced herself as a force to be reckoned with in Japanese golf. But that was just the appetizer. The main course came in 2022, and it was absolutely glorious. 5 wins, 5 victories in a single season on one of the world's most competitive women's golf tours. She topped the money list with over 235 million yen in earning, won the Mercedes ranking as the youngest player ever to do so, posted the lowest scoring average on tour, finished in the top 10 an astounding 21 times in a single season. Oh, and one more thing, one more little achievement that should have sent shockwaves through the entire golf world. She became the first player in JLPGA history to shoot a round of 60, a nearly perfect round of golf that shattered records and announced that Miyu Yamashita wasn't just good, she was transcendent. She was operating on a different level than her competition. A 60 inches professional golf is rarer than a hole-in-one. It requires not just great play, but near perfection for 18 consecutive holes. No mistakes, no lapses, just birdie after birdie while managing risk and maintaining composure, and she did it on one of the most competitive tours in women's golf. 2023 continued the dominance. More wins, more money titles, consecutive Player of the Year honors. By the end of 2024, Yamashita had racked up 13 victories on the Japan LPGA Tour, 13 titles before even earning her full LPGA Tour card. That's more wins than most professional golfers achieve in their entire careers across any tour in the world. But here's what made her truly special, beyond just tournament victories: her clutch game. In 2023, she led all JLPGA golfers with an 88.33% par save percentage. When other players cracked under pressure, when putts got twitchy and swings got tight, Miyu thrived. When tournaments got tight and the margin for error disappeared, she got better, not worse. She also led the tour with 17 eagles that season. 17 times she made 3 under on a single hole. That proves she had the killer instinct when opportunities presented themselves. She didn't play conservative golf hoping to avoid mistakes. She attacked when chances appeared. Yet despite this insane resume, despite 13 wins and a historic round of 60 and consecutive Player of the Year awards, the global golf media barely noticed. Japan's tour, though highly competitive and featuring world-class players, doesn't get the international spotlight the LPGA commands. It's a coverage issue, not a talent issue. But Western golf media treated it like the JLPGA was some developmental league instead of recognizing it as one of the toughest women's golf tours on the planet. So while Yamashita was dominating one of the world's most competitive circuits, posting numbers that would make Hall of Famers jealous, most Western golf fans had never even heard her name. That ignorance was about to become extremely embarrassing for everyone involved. But wait, there's more to this story that makes the establishment's mistake even worse. The JLPGA isn't some easy tour where players rack up cheap wins. It's brutally competitive. The depth of talent is extraordinary. Players who dominate in Japan have consistently proven they can compete at the highest levels globally when given the chance. Multiple JLPGA stars have transitioned successfully to the LPGA and become major champions. Hinako Shibuno won the 2019 Women's British Open in her first ever LPGA event. Nasa Hataoka has multiple LPGA wins and contends in majors regularly. The pipeline from Japan to LPGA success is well established. Yet every single time a Japanese player makes the jump, Western analysts express the same tired skepticism. Let's see how they handle the pressure. It's a different level of competition. The same dismissive takes get recycled despite mountains of evidence proving otherwise. The irony? Yamashita faced far more pressure in Japan than most rookies face on the LPGA Tour. Japanese golf media is relentless. Expectations are crushing, sponsors demand results, fans are passionate and vocal. Every tournament is covered extensively, every shot is analyzed, every mistake is dissected. By the time Yamashita arrived at Q School in December 2024, she'd already handled more high-pressure golf situations than many LPGA veterans experience in their entire careers. The last time something like this happened, when a player this dominant in one region got dismissed before proving themselves globally, it didn't end well for the doubters either. Think back to when Inbee Park arrived from Korea as a teenager. Critics said she was too young, too inexperienced, not ready for the big stage. She went on to win 7 majors and become world number 1. Or when Lydia Ko burst onto the scene as an amateur. Skeptics questioned whether her success would translate professionally. She became the youngest player to reach world number 1 and has stayed at the top of women's golf for years. History keeps repeating. Dominant players from competitive international tours arrive. Western golf expresses doubt. Those players prove everyone wrong spectacularly. You'd think the establishment would learn, but they never do. And now Miyu Yamashita has made them pay for that arrogance in the most public, embarrassing way possible. Here's what didn't make headlines when Miyu Yamashita was destroying fields in Japan, what the Western golf establishment either didn't know or chose to ignore. The JLPGA Tour isn't a developmental league. It's not a stepping stone or a minor circuit. It's one of the most competitive women's golf tours in the world, period. The depth of talent is staggering. Week after week, players who could compete on any tour globally are battling for victories. The scoring is tight, the courses are challenging, the pressure is immense, and the level of play would shock anyone who's bought into the narrative that only LPGA golf matters. But here's the part that proves the establishment was completely wrong about dismissing Yamashita's Japan success. Let's break down what it actually took for her to win 13 times on the JLPGA Tour before turning 25. First, understand the competition. In 2022, when Yamashita won 5 times, she wasn't beating weak fields. She was going head-to-head against multiple players who've since proven themselves on the LPGA Tour. The tournament fields regularly featured 120-plus players, all fighting for limited spots and prize money. Winning once is impressive. Winning 5 times in a single season against that caliber of player? That's dominance that transcends any tour or region. Second, consider the format and conditions. JLPGA events are typically 54-hole tournaments with no cuts. That means every player competes all 3 rounds. There's no hiding, no sneaking through on the number. You're playing against the entire field for all 3 days. And Yamashita didn't just win, she dominated. Her 2022 season saw her finish in the top 10 21 times. 21 top 10s out of however many events she played. That's not luck. That's not a hot streak. That's sustained excellence. Third, that historic round of 60. Let's be crystal clear about what shooting 60 means. It's 12 under par in a single round, while managing pressure and competition, while knowing that one mistake, one bad swing, one missed putt ruins the entire round. The mental discipline required to stay in that zone for 18 holes is extraordinary, and she was the first player in JLPGA history to do it. That record stood for decades before Yamashita broke it. It's not a record you break by accident or on a weak day of competition. Now let's talk about what happened when she arrived on the LPGA Tour and why her 2025 statistics proved the doubters were wrong. Tournament performance, 21 events played, 19 cuts made. That's a 90.5% cut rate. Elite consistency that puts her among the tour's most reliable players. 11 top 10 finishes. That's over half her starts ending in top 10s. Most players would consider that a career year. For Yamashita, it was her rookie season. 16 top 25 finishes. She was in contention constantly, week after week. She was there on the weekend with chances to win. But here's where it gets really interesting from a technical standpoint. Her equipment setup isn't some magical solution. She's using a tailor-made Spider Tour X putter, the same model thousands of golfers use. Her Srixon irons are excellent clubs, but nothing revolutionary. The difference isn't the equipment, it's how she uses it. Her putting stroke is textbook. Smooth, repeatable, consistent under pressure. That 20-foot playoff birdie at Maybank? She rolled probably 100 putts from that distance during the week. When the moment came, muscle memory and preparation took over. Her iron play is precise because she understands her distances perfectly. She knows exactly how far she hits each club. She factors in wind, elevation, lie conditions. She doesn't guess, she calculates, and her course management is decades beyond her age. She plays to her strengths relentlessly. When she's outdriven by 30 yards, she doesn't panic. She knows her wedge game is elite, so she plays to that strength. When longer hitters are taking aggressive lines, she plays smart angles that give her better approaches. This isn't accidental. This is the product of 13 wins in Japan under enormous pressure, teaching her exactly how to win golf tournaments. But nobody connected these dots until now. While everyone was focused on her size, questioning whether she had enough power, debating whether Japan prepared her adequately, here's what was happening behind closed doors. 3 major sponsors were already watching her Japan dominance closely. They had scouts at JLPGA events. They saw the round of 60. They watched her win under pressure repeatedly. When she dominated Q School, those sponsors started preparing offers. The moment she won the Women's Open, the floodgates opened. Within 48 hours, according to industry reports, 3 additional major brands reached out with endorsement proposals. Her agent's phone didn't stop ringing for a week. Because smart marketing executives understood what the golf media didn't. Dominance is dominance regardless of which tour it happens on. And it gets even better. Internal reports suggest her swing speed, despite giving up height to most competitors, is actually above average for the LPGA Tour. She generates tremendous club head speed through perfect mechanics and flexibility. The narrative that she can't generate power was never based on actual data. Plus, her major sponsors were already renegotiating contracts before the Maybank comeback was even complete. They saw the trajectory. They knew what was coming. Here's another detail most people missed. Her training regimen in Japan was overseen by coaches who've produced multiple LPGA champions. Her team knew exactly what she'd face on the LPGA Tour. They prepared her specifically for longer courses, different grass types, travel demands, and media obligations. By the time she arrived at Q School, she wasn't some unprepared rookie hoping to get lucky. She was a battle-tested champion ready to prove herself against different competition. The golf establishment looked at her resume and saw 13 wins in Japan as a question mark. What they should have seen was 13 wins against world-class competition as an exclamation point. The mistake wasn't underestimating Miyu Yamashita's talent. The mistake was underestimating Japanese golf entirely. And that mistake cost analysts, media members, and betting markets credibility when she showed up and immediately proved she belonged among the world's elite. Miyu Yamashita's 2025 rookie season isn't just one player's success story. It's creating waves that will change women's golf for years to come. And some of those implications are starting to materialize right now. First, let's talk about what this means for the LPGA Tour itself. The organization can no longer ignore or downplay the talent coming from international tours, specifically the JLPGA. Yamashita has forced a reckoning. When a player shows up with her resume and immediately wins a major championship, it proves the scouting and evaluation process was fundamentally flawed. LPGA officials are already adjusting how they promote international stars. More coverage of qualifying events. More features on players before they arrive on tour. More respect given to accomplishments on other circuits. Because here's the business reality. Yamashita's success is great for the LPGA brand. Her story brings new fans, particularly from Japan, where golf is hugely popular. Her tournaments draw higher viewership. Sponsors want to be associated with her success. The tour benefits massively when international stars prove themselves, so dismissing them before they arrive makes zero business sense. Take Rory McIlroy's recent comments about the depth of talent in women's golf. He specifically mentioned how international tours are producing major champions regularly now. That's a direct result of players like Yamashita forcing the golf world to expand its perspective. But the ripple effects go way beyond just LPGA Tour operations. Other players are feeling the impact immediately. Future Japanese players now have a clear blueprint. Dominate the JLPGA. Excel at Q School. Prove yourself immediately on the biggest stages. Yamashita has shown it's possible, which removes doubt and fear from that transition. Her younger sister Ran, also a professional golfer, now has a path illuminated by Miyu's success. The pressure on Ran is immense, but so is the opportunity. Sponsors will watch her development closely. Media will cover her more thoroughly. She's benefiting from the doors Miyu kicked open. Current LPGA rookies, though, they're under significantly more pressure now. Yamashita has set the bar absurdly high. Winning Rookie of the Year isn't good enough anymore if you don't at least contend in majors. The expectations have shifted. Veterans who doubted her, who made dismissive comments about Japanese golf before the season, are looking foolish. Some have publicly walked back their skepticism. Others are quietly hoping everyone forgets what they said. And here's the part that should scare everyone on tour. She's getting better. Her ball striking statistics improved as the season progressed. Her putting got more consistent. Her course management became sharper. She's not plateauing, she's still climbing. That's terrifying for her competition because she's already world number 6. If she's still improving, where does the ceiling actually exist? Sponsor reactions have been fascinating to watch. Equipment companies are scrambling to sign players with similar profiles. Shorter players who succeed through precision and mental toughness are suddenly getting more attention. The entire industry is realizing that power isn't the only path to success. Apparel brands are fighting to be associated with her. Her social media presence, particularly the food content with her sister, makes her incredibly marketable. She's not just a great golfer, she's relatable, fun, and engaging. That's advertiser gold. TV networks are adjusting coverage plans. When Yamashita is in contention, viewership spikes. CBS and Golf Channel executives have noticed. She's getting more featured group spots, more on-course interviews, more promotional focus. The long-term legacy implications are equally significant. If Yamashita continues this trajectory, she could become Japan's first world number 1. That's absolutely possible given her current ranking and age. She has 15 plus years of elite golf ahead of her if her body holds up. Multiple major championships seem inevitable at this point. She's already won one. She's proven she can handle the pressure. And she's only 24 years old. The math says more are coming. Could she dominate the LPGA Tour the way she dominated the JLPGA? The early returns suggest yes. Her 90.5% cut rate and 11 top 10s indicate she's not just competing, she's thriving. But what happens next could change everything for women's golf globally. 3 LPGA events remain in 2025. The Toto Japan Classic, where she'll play in front of home crowds that will lose their minds watching her compete. The Annika Tournament, and the CME Group Tour Championship. That $4 million winner-take-all season finale. In Japan, the pressure will be crushing. Every shot will be analyzed by millions. Expectations will be suffocating. But if August and November taught us anything, pressure brings out Yamashita's absolute best. The CME Championship is where things get really interesting. She's qualified based on her season performance, she's got the game to win it, and if she takes home that $4 million prize and potentially steals Player of the Year from Gino Thitticol, that would be one of the most dominant rookie seasons in the history of professional golf, men's or women's. It would cement her legacy immediately. It would prove beyond any doubt that the establishment's mistake wasn't just wrong, it was historically, catastrophically wrong. Future Solheim Cup implications are massive too. While Yamashita would play for an international team against Team USA, her presence would make that competition significantly tougher. She's a match play killer with ice in her veins. Exactly the kind of player who thrives in that format. The gambling and betting markets have already adjusted. Her odds for any tournament she enters have shifted dramatically. Bookmakers got burned badly when she won the Women's Open at long odds. They won't make that mistake again. And perhaps most importantly, young girls in Japan and across Asia are watching. They're seeing someone who looks like them, who came from where they came from, dominating on the world stage. The inspiration factor is immeasurable. Golf academies in Japan are seeing increased enrollment. Parents are investing in their daughters' golf development. The next generation of champions is being shaped by Yamashita's success right now. The ripple effects are just beginning. This isn't a one-year story. This is the start of something that will reshape women's golf for decades. And it all happened because the golf establishment made a mistake. They dismissed her, underestimated her, ignored her resume, and she made them pay for every single bit of that arrogance. The golf establishment dismissed Miyu Yamashita's 13 Japan wins as minor league, then watched her win a major championship and rack up over $3.3 million in her rookie season, while proving size doesn't matter and Japanese golf is world-class. Personally, this is the most embarrassing scouting failure in modern golf. She had 13 wins, shot a historic round of 60, and dominated one of the world's toughest tours for years. And Western golf acted like she was playing on a pitch and putt course. The arrogance was stunning, and the receipts are permanent. Here's what makes this even worse. It wasn't like her resume was hidden. The information was public. The wins were documented. The round of 60 made headlines in Japan. Anyone who bothered to look could see what was coming. But they didn't bother. They assumed their perspective was the only one that mattered. Now they know better. At 24 years old, with potentially 15 plus years of elite golf ahead of her, Yamashita is just getting started. The scary part for her competition? She's still improving, her game is getting sharper, her confidence is building, and she's figured out how to win on the LPGA Tour in dramatic fashion. Do you think she'll win Player of the Year as a rookie? Will she become Japan's first world number 1? How many majors will she win before her career ends? Drop your predictions in the comments because I genuinely want to hear what you think happens next. If you want to follow the rest of her historic season, hit that subscribe button. We're covering every tournament, every milestone, every moment of what could become one of the greatest careers in women's golf history. And if you want to see the actual breakdown of which analysts and media members got this wrong and what they said before she proved them all wrong, that video drops next week. The golf world made a mistake. Miyu Yamashita made them pay for it. And at 4 feet 11 inches tall, she's proven that heart, skill, and relentless determination matter infinitely more than size, power, or which tour you came from. The giant killer is here, and she's just getting warmed up.